Hi, welcome back to another episode of Armchair Pundits. This week, as usual, you've got myself, James, you've got Daryl, you've got Leon. I will ask how you guys doing football-wise, but I already know. So, in general, how you guys health-wise?
Sick in the stomach.
Okay, I know you guys have got a lot to say, so we'll probably hold the floodgates for a little bit, and we'll start with the Liverpool game, because it's mixed emotions for myself.
Well, you seem to have a lot to say when we were talking.
On Sunday, I was vexed. I can't even lie.
Yeah, you was upset, boy.
On Sunday, I was vexed because I was just seeing an opportunity slipping through our hands, innit? Points that a team of our caliber should have been getting, in all honesty.
The truth be told, though, you did what you normally do.
I know.
And you used to do this when we used to play FM as well. You used to always say, like, I can't believe it, we've lost, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, you managed to get the draw and you gained a point. Like, for me, you gained a point and you're still vexed that you've dropped 2 points.
No, I'm vexed here because, as you saw, I was having a debate with my brother. Because for me, Darwin cost us that game. And I'm talking about realms of possibilities. The fact is, if he had scored that, which was a simple finish, come on, it's a simple finish. If he scores that, we're not losing that game. I don't think we're even drawing that game because they then can't do what they want to do and they can open up a bit more and we get a bit more freedom. But obviously that happens in loads of different games and there's loads of moments in games where people could say this, that, but no, not many in games are like that, where you miss a chance as easy as that at 0-0 and it comes back to bite you. Because Leon asked me a question, what was worse, Darwin's miss in the Europa League or Darwin's miss in that? And the fact that he's got 2 in a season is bad enough. That you can actually compare which miss is worse. So, man, like, there's so much good that he does.
No, man. He's from the sublime to the ridiculous at times with him, man.
I think that's why I'm not as vexed, because I know who Darwin is. And he actually wasn't our worst attacker on the day. Salah was worse. And
Salah was missing.
Yeah, he was that attempt that he missed, Darwin missed. That wasn't a pass from Salah. That was a mishit header.
Nah, come
from
on,
Salah.
Man.
I feel like that was a pass.
Nah, that was a pass.
I'm not sure about it, bruv. I'm not sure about that. I think Salah was aiming for goal.
From his reaction, I thought it was a pass. His reaction to the miss.
Yeah, for me is a pass.
No, bruv. His reaction to the miss was, "How could you miss that?" Not because I laid it on the plate. Like, how the heck?
Exactly.
You don't
really
see
on
that.
The plate. No, I missed it, and it's fortunate that it got to you.
Listen, either way, it was a horrific miss.
It's irrelevant anyway because it was offside. So
it wasn't offside though. They showed they did it. It wasn't offside.
So
both of them were cleanly onside.
Oh,
so the flag did go up.
Yeah,
the flag went up, but they checked it because they were like,
they checked it for?
He's offside.
They did. No, they checked it for.
No, you know, in a game they show it in the replay. In the replay, you saw that he was actually way onside. Both of them were way onside.
Okay.
So the replay showed that it wasn't even close. So it would have been given. But like you said, we ended up gaining 2 points from it. But it just felt like a performance from last season. How many times did I say to you last year that teams that are in the bottom, or I think there's a stat where we haven't beaten a relegated team. A promoted team since 2001. No, 21. Sorry, since 2021. And I'm assuming it's away. I'm assuming it's away from home. I haven't checked because Anfield were usually quite strong. But I don't think we've gone away to a promoted team for a season and a bit now, or 2 seasons, and that's just nonsense. I know. So is it the low block?
But like your brother said,
you gone.
Like your brother said though, like truth be told, James, like that miss, what could have happened, what might have happened, ifs, buts, maybes. The truth of the matter is, like your brother said, you should have been putting them to bed anyway, regardless.
Yeah, of course, but listen, If you were at a game and you said he cost us the game, you don't say it because he missed a chance in the 90th minute. You say it because they missed a major opportunity, and that's what it is. Like me saying he cost us the game. It's like, for instance, Romero could have cost you the game with the red card, but you could have held on. There's other games where teams have held on and it doesn't cost you, and then you won't say that red card cost you a game because you held on. So for me,
that's like us saying though. That's like us saying if Son's goal went offside and we're 2-0 up against Chelsea, that we've won that game.
But we can say that. Arsenal can say that about Jesus.
Exactly.
There's pure if buts and maybes, and that's the thing about football, right? It's unpredictable. The reason why you guys didn't win the game is because you didn't deserve to win the game, and that is the bottom line. You guys had an off day. You guys had an off day, regardless of whether you feel that you were a better team against Luton. Luton played out of their skin, and they made it very difficult for you. I agree with your premise that if Núñez scores, it means that Luton then have to decide whether they want to push out a bit more, and it gives a bit more space. But at the same time, again, you just don't know. And you know they deserve the draw, and you guys managed to get a point out of it. But like these are the type of games when you're not playing well, where you do need a clinical finisher, and you did need Núñez to put that chance away. So I completely agree with you. I feel like he did cost you 3 points in that respect, because you've got to take those chances, especially when you're not playing well. Especially when you're not playing well against those teams. If you go ahead, it makes it very, very difficult for them to come back. When they get a go ahead, it gets the crowd involved. The players get a new lease of life. When they go behind, it's a completely different mentality, because whatever they plan to do from the beginning of the game is now changed because they're behind.
Exactly, and it's a sit.
On the same side of things, you can't blame one man's miss for the whole team's performance.
No, I don't. I don't blame.
No, I'm not blaming for the performance.
The Liverpool team didn't play well.
Yeah,
it's just saying that particular miss, that chance,
it's costly.
Because of how
that miss was costly.
If you put XG on, I don't know how you can put XG
like
on
that,
a chance, but a chance is extremely like a top quality player. You're expected to put that away. Do you know what I mean? That is a Sunday League finish. That wasn't a Premier League footballer's finish.
Sunday League. Right.
We had an XG of I think 3.3 or 3.8 something, and I guarantee his XG was probably that shot was probably 2 or 2 point something from the rest of them. We were poor. Listen, there's no going away from it. We were not good enough. But moments, like I said to my brother, there's moments in games where you can be poor, but you take that moment, you seize the moment. And it just changes everything. And we never seized the moment. But like I said, I was vexed on the day, but I've come to terms with it. These games happen. We can't afford to repeat it.
Result, then
we can't afford to repeat it.
Yeah, it's a learning. You're 3 points off top. Like, it's very tight at the top at the moment, and no one is unbeaten anymore. Which is
our team our team is not even ready yet. Like Klopp has really said,
is anyone's team ready yet? No one feels like they've got the finished article of a team. Like January is going to be, it's so important for everyone because
it's going to be interesting.
Even the bottom teams, right? A lot of the bottom teams didn't get the players that they wanted. Some of them lost players so late in the transfer window they didn't get to replace them. So January is going to be super busy for a lot of teams because no one can say that they
it's one or nothing.
Everyone that they want.
I think for us, it's either Andre or nothing for us. I'm hoping it's Andre.
You always he pull out some wild card out of the bag. Every time.
Is that another midfielder, James?
Yeah.
He does want another midfielder.
Andre.
He knew that already.
I know.
He didn't finish with the midfield.
Liam was at my house. We watched him. We watched him in the Copa Libertadores.
He's a player. He's a player, bro.
It was unfortunate we didn't see the whole game because there wasn't much to see because they were all tired in injury time, in extra time. Sorry. So me being the football sad guy I went back and watched the game. Did some BBC player, innit?
Mm-hmm.
I watched it, and that's the first time I've actually seen him for 90 minutes, and I was kind of impressed, in all honesty, to the point where if he comes, I'm not expecting him to tear it down straight away because he's going to need a break. Number one. He's getting to adjust to the Premier League. He's 22, and I don't even know if he speaks any English. So you've got all those other issues that you've got to potentially deal with. But from what I've seen, if he's someone that we bring in, then I'll be happy. But going back to the actual game itself, I mean, there's a lot of talk of, at the moment, on McAllister, and there's a lot of fans that are slowly, week by week, turning on him, which I don't think is fair, personally.
Still, because we talked about it last week.
Yeah, because it's like, what does he do? But in my eyes, he's not in his right position.
He's not in his right position.
So
not.
I'm not expecting him to be the McAllister that we all were happy that we signed, because we're not utilising him to the best of his abilities. So he's trying to learn how to be a deep line playmaker, and he's not a deep line playmaker at the end of the day. So it's interesting now because he's got himself suspended. So it's going to be interesting.
Deep line playmaker. He's basically a DM, bro, with deep line playmaking ability, because we know what he can do in possession. But he playing DM. He's out of the three midfielders. He has the least amount of freedom to do anything.
Yeah. And you're right.
Even with a deep line playmaker, they have the freedom to be able to open up spaces. He's not really been given that freedom because you need someone to protect the defense. That's him.
Yeah, true.
So,
and I think he's getting criticised for a lot of loose play. But that's the type of player he is. If he sees a chance, if he sees an opening, he's going to make it. So his percentages won't be that high, and he's may lose a lot of balls because that's the kind of guy he is. With him being suspended now, it's going to be interesting to see what Klopp does, because I just think, I've said it from the beginning, we need a DM, and we've got one in Endo.
Yeah,
and I want to see him in. There's been games where I've seen him play in the cups, and I've been like, he's done alright. Is he going to get minutes? He doesn't get minutes. So I know the Premier League's faster.
Have you had games since Endo's been in, and you say now he's accustomed, he's fitting, he's got grips of the system and stuff like that. Have you actually had a game where you've needed Endo to play from the start though? Since he's been adapted.
Brighton, he should have started, in my opinion. That game needed a DM. We needed a DM that game, and I think the joke was he only played 45 minutes the game before, so everyone thought he was going to start the game. So there are a few issues where his speed sometimes makes him look like he's out of position. But I think he might just have to get into the game to work it out. There's only so much you can do in training. He needs the Premier League pace, and training's not going to be the same pace as Premier League. But I don't know. For us, it's points dropped, but I can take it. Like Leon said earlier, we're only 3 points off the top. Brentford coming up, which is going to be tough. It's at home, which is a saving grace. But I don't know. Brentford have the ability to get a draw out of us, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah, and they're coming off of a good London derby. Nice win.
Exactly.
So come back. Yeah.
Szoboszlai had his worst game of the season so far, but I can't expect him to be playing 8 out of 10 every single week. He was a bit quiet.
I think
he didn't get into the game.
I think he held out to me. I brought him into my dream team, and he did nothing
Strong
for me.
You, man.
So I'll take the blame for that one.
I also think Klopp made a mistake playing Gomez because we lost the balance. I think he should have started Tsimikas.
Yeah, I agree.
I wasn't 100% sure why. Maybe he thought it was the physicality of them on the long balls, so he went for him as well. But did Tsimikas have the greatest game when he came on? Maybe not, but he's probably sitting there thinking, well, I'm going to start this game. And as much as people can say, just play the game and get over it, you're still going to have feelings about it. And I don't know, I just didn't think it was the right choice to start Gomez at left back.
Agreed. He hasn't done that since his debut 3 games before he got that injury. That's the last time I saw him play there.
There you go.
So I was surprised he did that.
And again, you can blame me for that one because Tsimikas, I brought him in as well, and he did nothing. So that's what happens when I trust your Liverpool players.
Well, better than trying to trust Pep, because Pep just be rotating everyone, bro.
You know.
Right, as we've said that, we'll talk on that quickly because Doku's performance was just ridiculous.
That was my other
5 goal involvements.
That was my other option to Szoboszlai as well, you know.
Yeah, but he's not really an option to suppose that because Doku's going to be dropped in and out so
exactly.
often.
That's what Leo's talking about.
You don't even
The
know if
Pep
he's going to play the
nonsense.
next game. Didn't he?
Nah.
Did he even play in the Champions League today?
No, he got dropped in Champions League after 5 point involvements.
Pep no business, man. He's no business.
But Grealish needed his minutes as well, innit?
I suppose it was young boys, innit? So
yeah. So yeah, just ridiculous. 6-1, and the joke is it was expected. Just the least expected thing was to see Haaland coming for half time, which just killed many people's fantasy football.
No goal.
Yes, and no goal.
Ruined everyone's team, mate.
So that was a mess. But now it's a case of what everyone expects it to be. Everyone's going to be Chelsea and Man City now.
Yeah,
Man City have had their wobble, and now it's a case of damn, who's going to be able to make them wobble again? Hopefully, it's us after the international break. Well, I think you guys have got before we have, haven't you? So, or Chelsea have. Someone has.
So you're definitely going to be playing in that game.
Chelsea got them next, haven't they?
Yeah. So there you go. Chelsea played better. Although
Chelsea, Chelsea, to be honest, have played well against the big teams. They haven't played well against the other teams, but they played well against the big teams. They got a draw against Liverpool, draw against Arsenal. They've beaten us now, so you never know. I can't see it because Pep is not.
Nah,
he's not our coaches.
I see at least 3-0 personally, but it's just things seem to be back to normal, I guess, with them at the top and everyone else chasing to see what they can do against them.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll move swiftly because we said that we'll do yours last. So briefly, as Philip's not here, he's captain, getting a winning goal. Was it a deserved win?
The captain finally turned up and did what he's supposed to do.
It was a poor game, to be honest with you.
It was a poor game.
It was a terrible game.
I think for me, the biggest thing from that game was the fact that Maguire was clearly concussed and he wasn't taken off the pitch.
Yeah,
I can't understand how he played 90 minutes. From the time a referee's walking up to you in the second half and saying that you're okay and calling the doctors over, he's got to go off. He's not guys.
Where he just stopped. It stopped in the middle of the play and it was like, bro, seriously, I know that you're getting a run of games, but at some stage you have to put your health before.
I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's the medical staff and his manager. Yeah, because he's not going to say I'm coming off. He's not going to say I'm
not
coming
only
off.
that. The manager, everyone else can see. We can see it. How could they're on the touchline? They can see it. So I didn't really understand that at all.
That's very worrying. If I'm completely honest,
we've had this situation in the NFL where players have confirmed that they're fine from their point of view, and medical staff and that have gone with their decision and stuff like that. Mistakes are made that was taken out of players' hands. So that's got to be the next step in the Premier League because Maguire.
That's their job. It's supposed to do that.
Yeah, but if a player's saying to you and he's fine and he's saying the right things in terms of what they're trying to obtain from him, and whether he's concussed or not, and he's saying the right things, they're going to go ahead with that. And players want to stay on the pitch, managers want to get their best players to stay on the pitch. So that's going to happen, but it's got to be taken out of their hands. It's got to be taken into the hands of the medical team where they look at it and say, "Look, he ain't right," because we could see it.
I think pull him out. They did the independent guy in watching from the stands or something.
In NFL
as well.
In NFL, it's independent.
Yeah, because
they're
not affiliated to the club.
Affiliated with any team because you don't want the doctors for the teams are always going to side with the team, and that's trying to win the game. So it has to be independent for me. But
it was a good result for United.
It was an easy win for them.
Yeah, and the way they got it, captain scoring last minute, that's going to give them a bit of a boost. They've got one more game, obviously, before the international break. They get another win, their heads are back up again. So, if they can go into international break off the bounce of 2 wins, it's a completely different story for them. Ten Hag is confident, and he's saying, "Look, in the end, we'll get there. Regardless, we'll be a better team at the end of it." And so he's confident. There was obviously talk about him being sacked this weekend.
It's never gonna happen.
People were saying this
Never.
weekend, if he lost this weekend, they're saying that he's going to be sacked. I can't see it personally because I think the club have invested so much behind him that's not going to happen. And they picked up a result, and like I said, one more game. I'm not sure who they got, but another win. The results this weekend, how they've fallen, they can maybe feel a bit more confident after that. And it gives them some time to work with some of the players that are not going on the international duty as well.
They've got Luton at home. They got Luton at home.
Well, there you go.
There you go.
With Erik ten Hag, as much as he has the club has invested a lot of money for him, there's still a lot of players from the previous eras that are still around. And until, if I'm being honest, they sort that out. And as we discussed last week, the infrastructure from all the way from the top right through improving the facilities and all of that stuff, there's still a lot of things remaining from previous eras. So for me, I think they will give him time. And you see how stats are like they never lost 5 games at this time of the season since 19.
5 out of 10.
But then he's got the best winning percentage of any manager since Fergie. Of all the managers that have been at Man United since Fergie, he's had the best record, winning percentage. So he's had the best winning percentage. So it's mad how you can turn stats and turn data into a way that either suits your argument or goes against your argument. So for me, they put time in. No one can make those changes in a short period of time anyway. He's not even been there. He's been there, a year and a half now? So to me, they'll get time. And the owners ain't going anywhere, so let's be real. They're still making money, and that's the bottom line for Man United at the moment.
Did you guys... Go on, Daryl.
I was say, well, they've looked at it, and at the moment, the state of the global economics at the moment, it does make sense for them to get rid because it's a cash cow for them. So why move on? You know what I mean? So yeah, he's going to say, James,
the disallowed goal. I couldn't understand the talk around it. It was a clear disallowed goal.
What Maguire's one, where he interfered with the
I was like,
I agree.
What's going on?
I think it was just, again, it's players and managers and whatever feeling that they're being hard done by. But realistically, everyone that saw it on TV, VAR, everyone saw it and said he's interfered. If he wasn't involved, then it's a fair enough goal. But his involvement meant that the defender doesn't get a touch, and he's basically interfered. He's interfered. He's made a genuine attempt to get the ball, and he's close enough that he could easily have touched it. So to me, it's offside. And
obviously, we'll talk about it a bit more later. But I think, as your manager said, it's getting to a dangerous point where managers are now attacking referees, and they're attacking referees for things that are not even their fault. For making correct decisions. That's the worst thing.
But it's not. They're
attacking them for making correct decisions.
What did the Premier League say about at the beginning of the season about the players and hounding the ref?
Yep.
They're doing it more.
It lasted 3 weeks
than ever. Yeah. Yesterday was unbelievable. It was so infuriating to see it because as much as you know that referees are going to make mistakes, referees are going to, they're not always going to get it right. As many people have said, managers get it wrong, players get it wrong, everyone makes mistakes. Yes, the officiating needs to be better. 100%, everyone knows that. But at the same time, I think the fact that VAR's there, it increases that I think it increases that pressure for referees to get things right. And that's why it's now taking so long to get decisions, because if they do get it wrong, now you're getting people asking for the dialogue from the room. Yeah. Can we hear what they said and this, that, and the other? Because they're trying to make sure they get it right. But these games are finishing so late now, past what the time is supposed to be. It's getting ridiculous.
What time did we
get home on a train?
Yeah, what time did we get away in the end, Leon? Yesterday, it's crazy.
Half an hour late, and there was no extra time. It's just injury time. It's crazy. So I do agree with Ange in terms of that. And for me, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Do you think that would you take no VAR and just have goal line and maybe the semi-auto offside, or would you rather keep VAR as it currently is, but just have a better way of making decisions or try to improve the speed?
I'll keep VAR. I keep VAR, and the guys that are working on it just need to get better. Simple.
But
guys need to be better.
They're humans, James. They're gonna make mistakes, bro. And listen, come on, we've listened to audio. We've listened to audio.
We all have jobs.
They don't sound like the smartest cookies in the
bro. You can still get better. They can still get better at their craft. You can still get better at your craft, and it's still relatively new.
How are they getting employed? Because you got 3 people here that can go and do a better job than what they're doing. Let's be realistic.
But we can't know because we're not qualified referees. You have to be a qualified referee to do it.
Like what? So what are these grassroots referees or what? My daughter's a qualified referee. What is she capable of going doing VAR? Like, come on,
possibly.
Man. Like,
find out.
Like, well,
you gotta get trained. You gotta get trained.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I would change about VAR though, I actually think there was a time where there's been many times where the offside rule changed. I feel like if you have to draw a line to the point where you can barely tell the difference between offside and onside, I actually think you got to favour the attacker.
Favour the attacker.
Having a shoulder in front and you've got to draw the line to make sure it's in line with the person. I think that's too much. I actually think it's getting ridiculous now.
Yeah, I agree.
I think if it's not clear and obvious on the first view, I think you've got to give the attacker the favourable decision, in my opinion.
I'd rather have the correct call, and the semi-automatic gives you the correct call. So the sooner they release
not if it's that tight where they have to measure shoulders, bro. The semi-automatic is where it's clear without having to draw lines.
My answer to that question then is simple. Premier League, go spend the money. You saw how it was done in Qatar. Do that. Simple as that. Forget this.
They had the semi-auto offside.
Yeah.
But I think the Premier League clubs voted against it, apparently.
Yeah, the clubs. It wasn't the Premier League. The clubs themselves that said they didn't want it.
And
themselves in the foot, really, didn't they?
I've just say, goal line technology, offside, that's it. The rest of the stuff, let the referees make those decisions. If he thinks it's a penalty, it's a penalty. If he doesn't think it's a penalty, it's not a penalty. Why are we going down to those levels? Like,
what about red cards or bad tackles? Do you think the referee got
actually,
to pull it only?
That's the one thing I would say is, if it's like rash challenges that are dangerous and stuff like that, yeah, they should be able to come in and say that. Because if a player's gone in with intent, maliciousness, and he's got away with it, they can call those ones out and bring that stuff back. But like penalty situations, handballs in the box, let the referees make those decisions. Do you know what I mean? That's my opinion.
I don't agree.
James,
some penalties.
For how many years?
There's some penalties.
Yeah, but look,
there's some penalties that referees just literally miss. That VARs have actually seen, and you've been like, okay, good, thank you that you've seen it. All because there's times where people have been upset about it. Doesn't mean that it shouldn't stay there. Like I said, they have to get better. They have to get better at it. Like, I watch a lot of rugby, and there's a process that the rugby that you hear the rugby guys go through that improves the process. And they've now got one of the rugby guys from rugby league as part of their team teaching them. So for me, if he's there, it's going to get better. But just simple things like when they report on an incident, they say, "Okay, this is what I want you to tell. This is what I want to see. Give me this. Give me this. Give me this. Tell me what the decision is." So you're hearing that, and that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, but also,
whereas as we heard from the audio, it's just okay. Is it offside or not? No, there's set things that you have to look for in a situation, and you work on those set things, and you give me the information for that. Okay, give me so the referee will say, okay, give me a reason why that should not be a red card. If they can't find a reason, it's not a red card. Simple as that. A simple sentence structure like that can streamline it so much easier. Then they're not looking. Then it makes things a little bit easier. And if they say that in the stadium, and you hear the referee saying to the VAR, "Give me a reason why that's not a red card," I guarantee you guys are in the stadium. If you heard that, you're calmer because you know exactly. You don't even need to hear the conversations between those guys because you know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And then when they found it, they'll say, "Yes, that's a red card because boom." Now go and have a second check. I also think it will speed it up.
It will.
But the process needs to be worked on properly for me.
But the other side.
I don't think they have.
The other side of that, though, James, and looking into rugby itself, what's the difference between rugby referees and football referees? Rugby referees are
respect level.
Exactly. The respect that's given to referees in rugby, that's not given to the referees in the Premier League no more. And this is what's happening. This is what Andrew's talking about. And when he's talking about they're not making decisions and they're being undermined. They don't have control no more. And that is down to that whole respect mantra that we're in this situation. Let's be honest.
But I think having that level of control between the VAR and the referees can help bring it back.
Yeah, maybe.
Because then you look at them and you think, okay, you know what? These guys are actually competent because they have a process. And now every single game is working to the same process. So if there's a handball in one game, there's a handball in another game, you ask it, each referee is asking the VAR the same question.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? If you have that structure towards it, then it gives them a bit of power back. So I don't know. Somehow it's not going to go. We know it's not going to go because of money and everything. Then it's going to try and find a way to fine tune it. They're never going to get rid of it because the box is open.
No, it's too late now.
They've just got to find a better process, but they also, I think, needs to be a unified process because you've got a different process for international football. You've got a different process for Champions League, Europa League. You've got a different the process for the other European leagues. And then you've got some leagues that don't have it.
Yeah.
So, some competitions that don't have it. So, some FA Cup games you can have it, some you can't. It's like, it's difficult because you can't implement it across the professional game. It's too expensive. But at the same time,
so why is it so expensive? Why can't it be implemented? Because I was watching them
across every single club ground I don't know, man.
How much money is the FA making? Come on, bro. We know how much money is the FA making. I was watching the Norwich Blackburn game, and I was watching it, and then there was a decision where a player got sent off, and I was like, okay, let's look at that again.
But they don't want it though.
And then it's like
they don't want it.
Oh, damn! There's no VAR. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, he's gone. Although it was a red card in the end, but you're like, why can't they have it at that level? And then like you said, James, then comes a problem in the FA Cup where certain games have it and certain games don't because it's in the stadium of a Premier League team, but not in the stadium of a Championship team.
So the integrity of the FA Cup is already
exactly.
Yeah,
and we're talking about the FA. They're making tons of money. The Premier League is making tons of money. That can be filtered. Cameras are not that expensive. The cameras that they need.
Are you saying filter it down to League 2 level?
Yeah, filter it down to the bottom.
But you got to have enough. You got to have enough good referees around as well.
And VAR and
another official.
VAR everywhere.
You got to add staff in the VAR room. I know you're saying there's money there, but let's be real. They don't want.
There's too many leagues, bro. There's too many leagues in England for them to do it. If you were saying in Italy, then cool, isn't it? Or France, there's two leagues.
They've still got enough leagues.
Right,
but not at the same level, bro.
It should be at least
not at the same level.
It should be at least in the Championship. You're talking about a league that then has the implications of getting to the Premier League.
Yeah, I get that.
Do you know what I mean? And
I get that.
So
yeah,
but
you listen to them on radio, and they're happy they don't have it.
Yeah, because at the moment, are we happy that we got it? No, we're not. Because
I'm alright with it.
But at the same time. But part of that reason is because for the most part they'll just be like, if the referee makes a mistake, it's like, oh well, he doesn't have the luxury of VAR, we just gotta accept it, and that's what you had to do before.
Yeah.
Now the reason why they brought it all in was because there was some really bad mistakes. Obviously, goals weren't given when they were supposed to be given, like genuinely ball crossing the line, all that stuff, and then it became about decisions. I think because FIFA introduced VAR with making certain decisions, and it was very successful during the World Cup. Then it was like, everyone's like, this is the way VAR should be. And then it got implemented in the leagues, but it hasn't been it hasn't been implemented in the same way or to the same quality to make sure that the right decisions are made.
And again, like I said, it's
anyway,
it's the qualities of the referees as well. We need to, even the referees on pitch, minus VAR, we need to be investing in these referees and getting them into a position where they're not getting questioned, where we have the faith and confidence. Leon, before our game yesterday, you was calling out before the game. You said, "I don't like this ref. When he refs us, I know we're going to have problems." And that's before we even kicked off. And then look what happened.
Yeah, admittedly, but at the same time, there was some self-inflicted problems.
I know that.
Yes.
We'll move on to speaking of VAR, we'll move on to Newcastle and Arsenal.
Yeah, we'll talk the first VAR incident of the weekend. Well,
right. Question: of the three incidents, do you agree the referees made the right decision on all three?
Me personally, yes.
I think it was a push, but it's subjective. It's the only subjective thing because all the other things are inconclusive. The ball crossing the line is inconclusive. The offside is inconclusive. The only thing that's subjective, the only thing you can question is the push. I think it was a foul, personally, but I can understand why they haven't given it because Gabriel was already had the movement at the time
going forward.
Joe Linton was was already moved forward at the time when being pushed him. But to me, it's a foul because once Joe Linton has his arms on his back, he can't readjust in any way. If he's misjudged the ball, whatever, which he ended up doing, he can't readjust because he's got his hands on his back. So to me, it was a foul. But I also can understand why it wasn't given.
I agree that potentially it was a foul. Like you said, once the hands are on the back, you can't adjust yourself. You're right. But let's be honest, Gabriel weren't trying to adjust himself. Man started to do Superman elements once he put hands on back.
Why are his legs in it?
Exactly.
How are you getting pushed?
Let me tell you now. If
I said to James, I thought he was going to get disallowed for the push.
No,
I didn't think he was going to get disallowed. I said to you at the time we were watching the game.
I reckon it would have got disallowed for the push if he went down like a normal person would if they was pushed in that way. Because if I'm in VAR, we're talking about people being in VAR. If I'm in VAR, I'm looking at that now and thinking, but why is his legs gone up?
Natural.
Why is his legs gone up in the air? Like he's trying to buy the foul. That's what it looks like. So then you're now making the element of, was he pushed? Is that because of his push, or is he trying to buy a foul? Is he trying to, force the issue that he's being fouled so that the chance doesn't go ahead and they don't score? So if he goes down in a way that someone's put their hands on his back like that, and he goes down, you don't go down and your legs come up, bro. So for me, I think VAR did the right thing for all three of the decisions because the ball going out, you can't see unless you've got a camera above or goal line technology to say that ball was out of play. You can't tell, so they can't overturn that. The offside, they can't tell the offside because there's no way to see because of where the ball was, whether Gordon was onside or offside in comparison to where the ball was. So that they can't overturn that.
The camera's behind. The camera comes from behind Joe Linton.
So unless they're gonna increase the amount of cameras there are, things like that, you can't see the angle for that. So they can't overturn that because you got to remember the on-field decision is right unless you can prove otherwise.
Yeah,
right.
And it was a goal.
And then for me, the push again. That's the one that it could have been is the push. But truth be told, like I said, why is his legs kicking out? Like, if he goes down normally and it doesn't look like he's trying to sell it, maybe VAR say, that's a foul. But because it doesn't look orthodox, it's subjective. So then they can't overturn that either. So I think the decision's right for me. But I was there watching the game, I'm thinking, hold on. Why have Arsenal got like 3 different ways to try and get this goal disallowed? I was convinced it was going to get disallowed. Because I was like, so okay, the ball's out of play. Hold on, now we're checking offside. Huh? Now we're checking foul. It's like, I was like, nah. I was like, come on, man. And I thought, nah, Arsenal going to get this. This is going to get disallowed. And then when it got given, I was like, yes, good. So happy. And now looking back on it again, now I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, VAR did the right thing. They couldn't overturn it because there's no conclusive evidence to any of those situations to say, yep, the referee's got it wrong. And that's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, let's give the referees the benefit of the doubt that they can get these things right.
I sat there with Leon, and when we saw the push, we were like, and I was like, that's going to be disallowed. Straight up. So sitting there, if I was a Liverpool, if that was Liverpool, I'd be fuming. I'd be like, that should be disallowed. So me personally, I can't sit there and say they've made the right decision on the push, because I guarantee if we see that next weekend, they'll disallow it. And that's the only thing.
You're right.
We've been saying week after week. It's the consistency. They'll disallow that next week.
You're right.
So, in all honesty, in that regards, the goal shouldn't have been given. But it wasn't, and it's made the.
Wouldn't you want your player to be a bit more accountable?
Yeah, 100%.
Wouldn't you be 100%? If that was Romero and he went down like that, right, and the goal didn't get disallowed, you'd be like, "What was Romero? What was you doing? Like, why was you diving like that?"
Especially when, let's be honest, you are the only person that can stop this ball from going in the net.
Yes.
Realistically, he was the last person.
You're taking a chance,
me,
man.
You're better off trying to firm as much as you can to defend that ball, because you can't rely. You're then putting the decision making in the referee's hands by trying to flop or trying to make more of that push, especially in that situation. If it's in the middle of the field, I can understand you being theatrical and, obviously exaggerating the fall. But where the ball is literally inside your 6-yard box, you've got to be strong, and you've got to at least do your best to stop that situation. In my opinion, I know that if any of us was in that situation, we would not be trying.
No, you're trying your hardest to stop that from going in, bro. That's what you're doing. No.
Listen, if I was your manager and I saw one of you to do that, I'd be like, what is the hell is wrong with you? You better clear that ball. You know what I'll be saying? You better clear it and then do whatever comes afterwards. If he pushes you, the referee can say push it, but you got to be firm there. So for me, it was a good result for the Premier League, because it's kept it probably lower, kept it nice. Good
result for the Premier League, or good result for Liverpool? I'm seeing.
No, as in general.
You're just happy that happy there's no undefeated teams now, aren't you, James? Come on, man.
Yeah, but that's good for the Premier League, because you don't have the whole thing of the worry of you can't beat them because no one's beating them. Everyone's been beaten now, so everyone's beatable now. So hopefully teams can go into each game to win it, rather than thinking, no one's beating them for 10 games, 15 games. Okay, we'll just go and get a draw.
It's typical of North London teams to both lose their unbeaten records in the same weekend. It's just so it's crazy.
I just like this is the mantra of this is going to be, Arsenal are going to say we weren't beaten, we was robbed, because that's what all Arsenal fans have been saying already.
They didn't score though.
But still, doesn't matter for them.
Arteta was crying, but they literally had one shot on target all game.
Yeah, exactly.
One.
Yes, granted, Newcastle only had 2, but one of them counted as a goal.
And when it comes to our game, we beat ourselves. So Chelsea didn't beat us; we beat ourselves.
No, as you've gone there, we move on to that. I mean, is it all down to? That's it. Let's just strip it back. Are you in serious trouble? Because Van de Ven hamstring, that's not going to be a 1 weeker. Then you've now got, we've said it from the beginning of the season. It's just a matter of when Romero got his red card.
Yeah,
he was hoping it weren't going to be the same time as Mickey getting injured. So you've now lost both of your centre backs, who have been immense this season. Then you lose the doggy for stupidity, because in all honesty, he probably could have got a red card for the first one. It's a 2-footer. It's a 2. Yeah, because the whole thing of there's no contact. That's because Sterling saw it coming and didn't want his leg broken.
Exactly.
If he kept his leg there, his leg's broken.
Exactly.
Bro,
so it probably should have been red.
And we said that's the red, and we were surprised that he got away with it. And it went to VAR and they didn't give it.
That was mad. That was mad again. Yeah.
Madison injury. Hopefully, you guys are hoping that it's a minor.
It's just a
push ankle.
On the
so,
ankle, yeah.
But if you're lining up in your next game with no Romero, no Van de Ven, no Doggy, no Madison. Let's see who you've got while I'm talking to you guys.
no Ben Davies.
Let's see who you've got. No, yeah, Ben Davies. I saw the list. No Ben Davies as well. So you guys are playing. Where's Tottenham?
The Wolves.
Oh, Aston Villa.
Villa. No.
Aston Villa at home.
Villa?
No, that's too far. That's 26.
Yes,
I've gone too far.
Villa's
we
on
got Wolves.
next.
We got Wolves next.
We got Wolves.
Away. That ain't gonna be easy.
So with all those guys missing, how are you feeling confidence wise?
I said to Daryl yesterday we're in trouble, and I'm gonna stop talking. I'm gonna let Daryl talk.
Yeah, we're in trouble. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. You're gonna look at a centre back pairing of. If you're talking about natural centre backs, you're gonna have to go with Eric Dyer. Although he did do well when he came on, to a certain extent, based in the situation, he gave his all. Give him credit for that. But we're going to have to go with him, and then probably Phillips as well. And when's the last time he's played a competitive match for Blackburn?
He wasn't even on the bench, was he?
No, he wasn't on the bench. So that's the centre back pairing we're going to go with. They've got less time to get prepared for it now as well because we played on Monday. We've got no left back, so that means Emerson Royal's going to have to play left back, and Burrow's going to have to play right back, or unless Højbjerg, who did again, considering the circumstances of the situation, did all right when he filled in the centre back, but we're in trouble. Yeah, I think the reason we lost, obviously, the fact that we're down to 9 men. Shout out to our boy Nathan and his karma, because he was quick to throw this into my face and Leon's face, saying that karma goes around. This is Liverpool reenacted for Spurs. Like, he was all over it. Last minute winners, he was talking about all that kind of stuff. So again, it goes to show, even with VAR and not, stuff goes around and comes around, but
now you know how it feels to
yeah,
play
sure, but same like you though, James. I'll take pride out of it. Same like you, I'll take pride out of it. We beat ourselves. I don't understand what the hell we was doing. First 15 minutes was all over them, destroying them, and then for some reason we look.
Did he doggy made the tackle?
I don't understand. Like a doggy as well. Like why? And Romero was hyped up from before the game. You could see it. This guy was hyped. I don't know what it was about. I don't know what the situation was, but these guys done lost their heads. It was like, we've seen this before against Chelsea when we was going for the title that year, and we lost our heads. We lost our heads in a game where we was cruising. They didn't know what to do. We carry on playing that way, keep our heads. We win that match easily. We win that match 4-1. But we lost our heads, and it just went to pot. And then, obviously, Romero, again, it's the same kind of thing, same kind of tackles as Curtis Jones. I don't think it was intentional, but again, lack of control after the tackle.
It probably wasn't. I swear, that's his boy. Enzo's his boy.
Exactly.
He took out as well.
But there you go. It's a red. You got to take it. A doggy's red was stupid. But again, both of those players should have been off before that, realistically, if I'm honest with you. The doggy's tackle on Sterling was
a little kick
nuts, out. And Romero did the kick out, which we know people get sent off for that. So,
could you see it from where you guys were?
The kick out, we couldn't see the kick out. The doggy challenge, we thought it was a red. We thought
we could see that there was a little problem there,
little petulance.
We saw Romero go in. He had run out of defense to go and close down a ball, and he didn't make it in time. And then I think Chelsea managed to, or I think it's Colwell managed
to pushed him off the ball.
Pushed him off. And then I think that's when Romero kicked out. We couldn't see that he did a kick, but we saw him near Colwell, and then Colwell on the floor. And it was like, God, what's he done?
But
so
I didn't think. Personally, I didn't think it was red card worthy.
Well, VAR did.
I thought it was.
Checked it.
I thought it was orange.
You're leaving yourself vulnerable.
Yes.
I think VAR said it was more petulance than
yes, exactly.
Than violent. Yeah. So it
wasn't a stamp. It was a little kick on the ankle.
You got away, but you can still got a send off for that. It's stupid. It's like, come on, you got to be smart at that. And a game as big as that. And for me, especially after seeing the Udogie one, like Udogie, that's a red straight. Like when it went to VAR, me and Leo was saying it's gone. And when VAR didn't give it, I was like, okay, maybe we can't see it properly from our angle. But then watching it afterwards, I'm like, bro, that's a red. Like you can't say it's not a red because he doesn't make contact with Sterling, because Sterling's smart enough to see it coming and get out of the way. If he doesn't see that coming, he's going to hit him, and that's a red. So regardless, for me, he should have been sent off for that. And then, he's got away with that. He's got a yellow. And then, again, against Sterling.
Sterling was smart.
But Sterling was stupid, smart, though, James.
It was smart.
Stupid, though, James. He didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to. Sterling saw him coming, and he was always going to go down. And I saw it, I was like, Sterling's going down. Sterling's going down. And it was smart. So I give him credit for that. But it's a learning lesson. Udogie's young.
Yeah, he'll learn from it.
He doesn't seem like the type of person that so far that has put that kind of performance up before. It seems out.
Even the first tackle.
So I think this would be a learning lesson for him.
The first tackle, which he got away with and got the yellow for, I've never seen that. We've never seen anything like that from him before. So it's a bit surprising. I don't know what was in these guys' heads. I don't know what the team talk was. I don't know if it had anything to do with Poch coming back. But these guys lost their heads after 15 minutes of dominating them, playing scintillating football. They went and lost their heads and then ended up costing us the game. That's the truth of the matter. And then,
Vicario.
Bro, look,
that's one guy that can.
It seemed as though the disallowed goal was what kind of messed them up because us going 2-0 up with the Son offside kind of messed us up, because we were in such a groove at that point. And I think getting a second goal so quick after the first goal, it was like, oh my goodness, this is brilliant. Like, because Chelsea, we know they're like our bogey team, man. They just always somehow, and we've seen it again, they always seem to manage to do one over us. Which
you haven't done back to back against them apparently for a long time. It's
just Chelsea, man. They've just got this. They got some flipping hex on us, man. Because as Dal said, the players were too hyped. They came into that game. I don't know what they were thinking. But one thing I will say is that Chelsea knew that. Chelsea knew that going in. They kept leaving their foot in. They were doing these sneaky little things in the tackle. They were leaving their foot in. The referee wasn't giving anything. The amount of times, that's the reason why Madison got injured, was because they kept leaving their foot in. Reece James, Gallagher was doing it. Caicedo was doing it. And you can see, like, they had more fouls. I think almost double the amount of fouls that we had in the game. But we had the most severe bad tackles, obviously, because as we know, Romero and Udogie could have got sent off twice.
21 to 12 fouls.
But realistically, it was almost like they knew all they had to do was antagonize us, and they did. I feel like they did, and it worked. And that just shows the immaturity that we had in our team, because we didn't deal with it very well. We didn't respond in the right way, and I think that's why those guys ended up doing those bad tackles, which you can't give them an excuse for. There's no excuse. You've got to deal with the physical side of the play and be able to know how to get away with some of the dark arts that other teams can do. But
they were doing dark arts. Like, Chelsea were doing some nice dark arts.
That's what I'm saying. They were doing dark arts, but we didn't. We don't know how to do it and get away with doing it without it being a red card offence. You know what I mean? So persistent fouling. Like Modric came on and considered 6 fouls in 30 minutes.
The thing about dark arts, they're done in the shadows, and we was trying to do our dark arts in blatant sunlight, bro.
In plain sight, bro.
Stupid. So, yeah.
Like, I think there's positives from a perspective of how we dealt with adversity, but I feel like the tactics were wrong from Ange. Like, I know he's standing on his sword, he's like, we're going to go down fighting and blah, 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 blah. But where you see a team get through and go 9 times in one game, bruv, you've got to make some adjustments, especially when you've got certain men who have no pace and you're playing a high line. We saw what Newcastle did to Aston Villa when they tried that nonsense, and they lost 5-1. We've ended up losing 4-1. And as much as I understand the thought process of we could have equalised if Son takes his chance before they scored the third, and they end up scoring the third from obviously a counter attack. But the amount of times they got in, it was almost like the Vicario, as you said, saved us so many times. It was getting ridiculous to the point where it's like at some point they're going to get this right, and they ended up getting it right 3 times. And to me, that's where the naivety comes in. You have to make some adjustment. I understand. Don't play a low block if you want to try and get something out of the game. Fair enough. But we were on a halfway line. It's too much space. Way too much space to play a through ball, and Vicario can't make up that much ground every single time. So to me, we got away with not conceding more, and
we probably got away with Vicario not getting sent off.
And is gonna that too. But is he's very progressive, but I don't think he's been in the game too long to be like we're just gonna play on the halfway line every single time. There's no way you can do that because other teams will just exploit that. Like Liverpool and Man City have way too much in the locker, pace, power, everything that they would absolutely tear us apart.
The crazy thing is that it lasted to the 75th minute when they finally got their goal. But that was based on flipping Chelsea's stupidity. Like, I couldn't... Come on, Leon, we was there and we were saying, it's only a matter of time. I can't believe it took to the 75th minute for them to score. And I can tell you, James, now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The stupidity of the Chelsea players not to make the correct runs at the right time was just hilarious. It was ridiculous. Like it was stupid, and we nearly got away with playing that high line, which is unbelievable. It's like if that's Chelsea, if that's not Chelsea, and it's City, Liverpool, Arsenal. We're losing that 6-7. Aston Villa, Newcastle. Because I don't know, like Chelsea can leave that game, and Poch can leave that game feeling happy and grateful, and Jackson Martinez got his hat trick, or some cheap ass hat trick where we just give it to him. Like,
hey, don't do that. Don't do that. One guy came on the radio and was cussing
it. Take it away from man. He scored 3
goals. It was on Talk Sport. It was like, why is he celebrating a hat trick against 9 men? And then Nkanko was like, bro, he scored a hat trick. It's a Premier League hat trick. Doesn't matter.
The hat trick. Yeah,
history books, bro.
He's got a hat trick. He got a hat trick before Rashford.
They can celebrate all they want, because really, for me, that's just going to paper over the cracks for them. Because realistically, there was some absolute nonsense from their team. I would have been like, we had it when we was 9 men when we was against your 9 men, and me and Leo were shouting like, "Get the ball wide! Why are you not trying to keep going through the middle? Like, it's stupid." And you're looking at these guys. Bro, they're playing on the halfway line. Just hold your run. Make 2 players run. Like Poch is a clever guy. Like, surely they had enough breaks for them to have this conversation and say.
I think he told them, because the amount of times
he told them what to do, but they got
he kept panning to him, putting his hand and going back to the chair and like, what are these guys doing? And then when it worked, when you actually got it,
a manager can only tell them what to do. And they've got to try and do it. That's the bottom line. Poch
they got a lot of work to do.
They just fluff their lines. But you know what? They have got a lot of work, but they've got a win. And, that's now... They've actually got a better away record and a better home record. So, progress is progress. And I don't think they're going to be this terrible for
not forever.
They got players coming back as well.
As bad as they are, they're 5 points behind Newcastle. 5 points behind 6th. As bad as they've been. So if he gets it right, he's not gonna threaten us. I don't think. I know you guys think that's different for you guys, but I don't think they're gonna threaten a Liverpool position. And I don't think they should threaten us. That's with your injuries.
The injuries are probably now. I hear that, but based on how we.
Last week you made us redo our predictions, and look what's happened.
Based on how we played against them in the first 15 minutes, and before losing our heads, they're not on our level. I'll be realistic. I'm not saying that they won't get there, but currently they're not, and that was just evident. The fact that it took them to the 7th minute to score against a high line of 9 players. Let's get it right and not twisted here. That we couldn't have done what you did, James. Like what Liverpool did against us, we were not capable of doing that. We couldn't have played a low block like that and kept Chelsea out. No way. It's impossible. So we had to do something different, but that was nth degree different levels. Like halfway line, high line, like with 9 men. That's crazy. Like I hear what Andrew's saying. I get like he's an attacking guy and stuff like that. But like you said, Leon, he's been in the game long enough to say, all right, once we went down to 9, all right, guys, come on, let's just be compact, be solid. Make them do the work, force them to score because Chelsea might not even score. If they couldn't score against a high line like that, you never know. And I know people say like, it could be different because you're then sitting in, you have to do more work and stuff like that. They got more time on the ball to do stuff.
Just the potential of own goals that we did, isn't it?
But it's crazy. That high line stuff is crazy. I think that's the only negative to take away from that. Obviously, the stupidity of our players in the red cards, but that's the only negative for me.
No, I think I think the biggest negative is the injuries. No,
actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
That's
you're
the
right.
biggest one for me. You're right. And
you're right.
The suspensions, the injuries and suspensions.
But I'm proud. I'm proud, regardless of the fight and the battle that the team showed in that situation. Just like when Liverpool did it, I'm proud of like how they did realistically. But it's just stupid that we put ourselves in that situation. And we'll see what's going to happen with the injuries now, because like you said, that is probably the biggest problem realistically now. But we'll see at Wolves this weekend, and well, we're gonna have to come up. So he's gonna have to come up with something.
Well, we'll wrap it up. I'm not looking forward to Brentford, I'll be honest, even though it's at home.
Is that reverse psychology?
I think we'll win. No, I think we'll win, but it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be so tough against them. And it's imperative that we score first. Because if we don't score first, then the way they do their long balls and their direct football, it could be troublesome for us. And I actually want to see Endo play. And I really, really, really hope he has a really good game. Because I think he could be key to us performing better going forward. Yes, we'll probably get another DM in January, but I think he could be key to us going forward. And obviously, if you guys, we'll see where it shakes up. What would your back line be? Do you think?
I said it to you just now. I said I reckon it'll be.
Oh, yeah,
I reckon you've got to play with 2 natural centre backs realistically. Dyer, Phillips, left back will be Emerson Royale, right back Porro. And I think the same like your game. I think we need to score first. If not, then it's going to be a problem. I said to Leon a couple of weeks ago before the Chelsea match, I said Wolves is going to be a hard match for us, and I think we just made that even harder now.
What's happened with Son? I saw a tweet somewhere that he's having surgery.
That's Richarlison.
No, that's Richarlison's having
surgery. Sorry, I meant Richarlison. I don't know. Richarlison's surgery. What is it?
Yeah, it's strange because didn't he have this problem last season? I thought he was getting surgery in the summer to find out, because he basically was dealing with an injury all last season, which he said. So I think maybe they didn't know that the pelvic bone was also linked to the problem as well. So maybe that's why he's got to have that too. Who knows?
Another injury. Okay.
Yep.
All right, guys. Catch you next week.
Yep.
Peace.
Next week.
Yeah, catch you next week. We'll see what happens.
In a bit.